All right. Well, hello. Welcome to Team Time. It is Monday, November 17th. Glad to see you guys. Um, we are here for our weekly Team Time. Lots of people coming in here, so we will be patient. Hope you guys have had a good week. And we're going to cover some good stuff tonight. We're going to cover some coach wins. We're going to go over the call tomorrow night. So everybody's real clear on what's happening with that. We're going to go over some exciting updates from the Baltimore event, the ED Summit. And then we just got some new information today about upcoming events starting in 2026, some live events. So let's start as we always do. Who has something good to share from about Optavia 3.0, either with your personal health or something with your business? Something you're doing different. Vicky.
I am so excited about this, you guys. I had the last InBody I had was a long time ago. It was in April, and then their machine broke down, but I wouldn't have cared. But anyway, I just had one done on Saturday, and I'm going to tell you that along with losing 20 pounds, and I would say that's more from like sometime this summer. I'm not sure when, but I was staying away from scales, if you know what I mean, for a while. Um, and then so down from 163 to 143. And then the big deal is the visceral fat from 15 to 10. So anyway, just really, really excited about that. Also excited because, and I think, Dee, does your scale tell you the body age? Because you have the Renfro, right?
It
Okay,
does. Yeah.
so I don't have a Renfro, and mine is like 4 or 5 years old. But I'm going to tell you that back in, I don't know, March, I think, when I first did it, it told me that my body age was 72. And I was a little annoyed because I was 72. But now it says it's 59, and I'll take it. But anyway, the Embody's more accurate, but that's a really good interim. My little scale is a really good interim thing. So anyway, super excited about where that's all headed.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I love that
Thank you.
visceral fat improvement. That is huge, a 5 point improvement. How about your body fat percent? Do you know how much that improved?
No, 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 no. Um, I don't, I don't know exactly where that is on this.
7%.
Did it?
Yes.
Did I tell you that? Okay.
No, I saw it.
Okay. 7%. Yes.
Oh, on your
Yes, you're right.
post.
You're right. You're right. It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
That's not
Anybody else
easy to
have any?
do.
Julie, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you.
Well, good. Can I share an update with you guys? I told you I was going to be on my own personal journey, and it's going to be 4 weeks on Wednesday. So my initial starting weight wasn't on my new metabolic scale, but I just wanted to show you something. But one thing I'm really excited about, I'll show you after I show you these numbers. So give me just a second because I just decided if you're going to be vulnerable, to show you everything. So let's see. Okay. So Vicky, can you see the screen? There's some graphics, some graphs
Yes.
here. Okay.
Yes.
So it might be a little bit hard to read, but this is the coming off my Renpho metabolic scale. But I actually started on whatever the date was, but I think I started October 17th on program, 5 and 1 active. My weight actually was 139.4 down here when I started. And today it was 134.2. So I am down a solid 5.2 pounds. Now, this, you guys, I mean, you might look at it and go a month on program, but when you only have about 10 pounds to lose, that
Mhm.
caloric deficit is not that big to create, the pound loss. So it's the compound effect. But I don't know if you can see this, but last week I just about had a stroke because, these are normal fluctuations. My weight popped all the way like back to 137. And I was so tempted to like get mad and go off plan and all the things that our clients will do. And I was like, nope, gonna stay the course, stay the course. And then it started and it was like tick, 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 tick down. But I'm really doing this a lot for body fat percentage. And I will
Mhm.
do an in-body to verify it because in-body is a little higher. My body fat was actually about 31% on in-body, but you see about a 2% improvement for the body fat percentage. So that's improving from the inside. But one thing I really watch because I'm 61 years old, and even though I exercise a lot, I lose muscle easily. I lose muscle and it's hard for me to build muscle. And so there's a factor on here that said I had lost muscle. And I was like, eek, like, ooh, not good. So I put it in Chat GPT because I'm not that smart to be able to figure out a percentage change in my muscle from like when I started and what it was on the day I started and whatever. And check this out, you guys. Chat GPT did the math for me, but it showed muscle retention. Your muscle retention, 97.9%. You've retained 98% of your muscle mass, which is excellent during weight loss. So that is exactly what we've been wanting to prove and verify. So I was just super excited about that. And I'm going to continue. I want to lose 5 more pounds. So I'll keep you posted. And it hasn't been easy. I'll tell you that. Anything worthwhile makes you uncomfortable. That's all I will say. But I did want to give a couple shout outs. We have Debbie Pasco has 2 new clients already this month. Kelly has 2 new clients. Ellen has 2 new clients. I know Frank and Shauna have one. I have one. Stephanie Sweeney, you have 2 new clients this month. So good things are happening. So that is super fun. Any other updates or anything you guys want to share or cheer somebody on? All right. Well, we need to do some talking because our very own Kelly McCullough was the only one on our team that qualified for the ED Summit. And that was last week. She just got back. And so, in order to qualify, she had to meet guidelines of maintaining her ED status during the qualification period, but also bringing on a new coach and earning an accelerator assist bonus. And so, her new coach was Ellen, helped her. We all know Ellen. She's doing great. Wanted Kelly to share with us, just going to interview Kelly a little bit. So Kelly, I know like something new was announced, like what was new that was announced, and then would love to just kind of have an overview of your experience and maybe the top 3 things that you came away with.
Okay, yeah, I'm real excited. It was a fantastic, oh my goodness, it was such a fantastic deal. They were so just welcoming of us. Everything was a big old celebration. You know, every time we went somewhere, there was music. They had DJs at the headquarters and at the tour of the manufacturing place. I mean, there was balloons. I mean, everything. They were just all excited to have us there, which was really fun. You know, then we were like, oh wow, okay. But I would say the top 3 takeaways for me, I mean, there were so many, so I narrowed it down. But the top 3 would be that, you know, for a long time, Optavia has been sort of pigeonholed into a weight loss company. Well, it really didn't start out that way. Dr. A, that's not how he presented it in the beginning, but that's how it's had become. So now that we've got this metabolic health proof through the research that's been proven and brought about, now we've got that, and it changes the whole narrative. So that's been something that's been fantastic. And that those studies were done in a way that were completely, you know, they were placebo, double blind, all the stuff for the scientific journals for publication, and they have been published. So that's a big deal. Another thing I plan to do is knocking on some physician doors, especially for my clients who have endocrinologists and cardiologists. And my clients have been to those doctors, and those doctors are like, wow, you've really made some big changes. You're doing very, very well. That's an open door. That's a foot in the door right there with those clients, you know, because those clients providers are noticing the difference. So that gives an in to get started and have a conversation there. So I want to do that to be able to help more of their folks that they've got there, and working out some kind of partnership going there. And then number 3 would be a big thing was, and Doug Wood brought this out, was, you're not marketing yourself for Optavia. Okay. You're marketing you. You're marketing your team. Whatever your last name is the team you're building. We all have mentors. We all have coaches ourselves, and we have a good family team there. But you're building, like I'm building the McCullough team, and you're building your team. And so you're building your brand, and helping your team grow and do. And so he was saying what you need to be looking at is, what solution do you provide? Who do you provide it for? Is it people with PCOS? Is it menopausal folks? Is it men that need to be better dads? I mean, whatever it is, who you solve it for, and then what are the results that they should expect? And those are things that, in being, especially on LinkedIn, that's what every guru on LinkedIn tells you to do with your profile, is to put, what you're doing and who you do it for, and what are they going to get for it? Why do they want to work with you? Why are you different from everybody else? So I thought that was pretty interesting that Doug was saying, this is what you're going to be doing marketing going forward. This is what you need to do. So I loved that. The biggest thing that I did not really know prior to was that they are looking at global expansion. And that is definitely on the horizon, because they were already talking about this is in the works. So we know it's going to happen. I don't know when, but we know it's going to happen. And one of the things that really stood out to me was, reversing metabolic age. Because, those of us that have these metabolic scales, it tells you what your metabolic age is. And, but that's not your chronological age. Is it older, about the same, or is it younger? And obviously we want it to be younger, but when we are in that metabolic reset mode, we are reversing our metabolic age, not our chronological age, but we're getting more life in our years rather than just years in our life. And I was laughing because that's one thing that I tell my clients a lot, and that was said on the stage when we were there this week, and I was like, oh, that's one of mine. They stole that. So I thought that was funny. The biggest thing I'm planning to change, and I wrote this down so I wouldn't go on and on forever, because you guys know that I tend to do that. Okay, sorry, but that's just how that works. But the things that I want to change is, or have been changing, is my language, the way that I'm presenting my posting, and how I'm talking to people in person about what I do. And about what can happen. And I'm having conversations with people at church or people at my networking group or whatever, and they're talking about somebody that's going to the doctor for diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol or triglycerides, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yep, that's metabolic dysfunction. And, this is how we address it. So it's, we don't get bogged down in the how-tos right there in that conversation, but it warrants a call. It warrants a conversation. So that language, being bolder, definitely being bolder, and not afraid. I've been sort of holding back on some things because not sure what was approved to say. And since we got the chance to go through headquarters and ask questions of the compliance team, we found out we have a lot more liberality than we have in the past, and that's fantastic. So, and then medical contacts and the benefits for their practices and their patients, and how that's going to help them be better and increase their reputation in the medical community, because they're able to, their patients are able to get much better results than everybody else's. And another big thing that I thought really spoke to me, and most of us on this call who have Christian backgrounds will see the parallelism, but timidity is selfishness. So the more timid we are with our gift that we have, that we can give to people, which is this program and the metabolic health that we can help them provide and find, that's selfishness not to tell them about it. So that puts a fire in me, in my belly for it. You got to have a fire in your belly for it in order to make it happen, right?
That is so good, Kelly. And you know what, is amazing what you shared is that not only is it like the timid, but the just sharing the opportunity of coaching as well. Like we are on the wave of something incredible coming. And so keeping it to ourselves or because we might be uncomfortable, we talked about this on Coach Connect, the more interactive forum that we have on Thursday afternoons, is to really start working on our comfort level with starting to offer the opportunity and then leaning in our mentorship to help us with having those coach conversations and how to launch a new coach. Like we are here to support you with that. And I know every leader on here agrees. And Kelly had shared with me one-to-one. What was really awesome was she was saying like how hands-on the leadership is in Optavia. Like how often is the president or the CEO of a company available and cheering on their team? But Dr. A and Dan, Kelly was invited. She was the only one from our team that was there. Other people had teams and team meetings and stuff, and they invited Kelly to a small group dinner. And so Kelly got some one-on-one time, which was great. But when Kelly shared about her medical background, and this was just kind of like a little shift because Kelly and I talked this through today, was she was thinking about, let me partner with these doctors of like my patients that or my clients that are having great results and they can send me people. And then Dr. A postured like, hey, really what needs to happen is the practice or the doctor become a coach and then somebody in their office do the coaching. And so Kelly and I were then having to have that conversation of how now she's if she bogged herself down with all those clients from referrals, she really wouldn't be able to build down that team that she's looking to do. So it's just really cool what's possible and how you never know with an event or a conversation how things can change. But I 100% agree with you, Kelly, and I hope everybody's doing it. I'm seeing it in your posts that those of you guys who are posting frequently is moving in that direction of really sharing about metabolic health. Like the before and after, she's down 30 pounds. It's just going to get lost in the noise. But when you talk about the health benefits of it and talk about it with your clients also. Dr. A and Dan shared on the call today with leadership. I know Shauna and Frank were there and Meg was on it. They said 50% of people don't know about metabolic health. But once it's shared with them and they are aware how it relates to them, 84% want to know more. So really speaking in terms that we can connect with somebody, whether you're talking about brain fog, fatigue, weight gain is just a symptom. We got to remember weight loss, weight gain is just a symptom of something else not working right. Insulin sensitivity and elaborating on what Kelly said, and I'll let you come right back on. Kelly had shared Dr. A, when he founded this program, he talked all about blood sugar. It was all about blood sugar. And on the call today, he was like, if you cannot burn fat when your insulin level is high.
That's right.
And I think that is one of the key things. Like he gave an example of somebody's taken the GLP-1 medication and they eat one donut versus three, their blood sugar is still high and they're not losing in a healthy way. And it's still not creating health on the inside. So Kelly, sure, come on to share it additionally.
One more thing I wanted to mention was when they were mentioning about the global expansion, they were saying we're going to explode as a company. And they were like, we do not have enough coaches on board to handle what we're going to be doing. And they were like, build your teams now. Get these coaches on board, get them trained, get them where they understand what's going on, because we are at that precipice of it's about to just go, and we're going to be like, wow, So, and it may not happen like a fire hose, but it's still going to be a, automatic thing. And so I think if we, can build and train and grow people the way that we've all been taught to do, we're going to be in a very good position, all of us here.
Yes. Yeah, I've been having in my memories, and maybe some of you guys have too. Like, for, it was I think it was November 2019. Many of us were out in Arizona. Do you remember there was like some kind of event in Arizona? And that's when we were really starting to build as a team. I mean, we had not exploded yet, but we were starting to build. And that was right about the time Optavia converted, and then from Take Shape for Life, and then we just saw that wave that carried on for years. I love that Dr. A and Dan talk about like the biggest earners in this business they don't even know about us yet or haven't even joined yet. There will be people that come in that build far bigger than Doug and Tia would, et cetera. And, Doug was a furniture salesman when, he owned a furniture store. Like he does, doesn't have a college degree. Like he just got in here, saw what was possible and created. So I think all of that is awesome. This is just, hopefully you're getting it. You're starting to talk. I wanted to share with you, and then we're going to move on to about tomorrow night's call. So I have a client who did this metabolic study with me, and she did her first week on program, and she sent me a screenshot this morning of her scale, from what I gave her, the metabolic scale. So I just wanted to show you. We talked by text. We're talking tomorrow. But if you look at it in her first week, she had dropped 2.6 pounds. Her BMI went down, her body fat percent went down, all of that. So when I replied to her, I was like, Kim, this is excellent for week one. How are you feeling? Not only did your weight go down, look at your metabolic health benefits. And I pointed out the visceral fat reduction, the body fat reduction, the subcutaneous fat reduction. Like these are the things we want to be pointing out to our clients too, so that we can help move them from the diet mentality. So as they start to share with other people, they're not just talking about weight loss, they're also helping to move this mission. And she was like, I feel great. She's a teacher, she's like, this plan is so doable with what I do. So there are people, guys, that want this. I know we got to kind of discouraged, we weren't sure, like, how do we fit in, but like now we stand out. And it's exciting. So we're going to tomorrow night, we're doing our metabolic reset movement. And so this is our opportunity and it's tomorrow night. And sometimes last minute invites are great because people are like, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, I'm open, versus a week ago when you might have asked. But this is really going to be an information call, primarily driven towards the program, really kind of talking what is metabolic health, what's the markers, and then we'll have stories in it, and then we will do a very light touch on coaching at the end. So inviting your candidates, people who are not yet, people that you think could benefit from learning about this, your current clients and your inactive clients, is a great market. We do have a registration form, and shout out to those that have been asking people to register for it. But the stories that we will be sharing, if this helps you, Meg and I will facilitate the call. We'll give a high level of what our stories on. We're going to focus more on content throughout it. Stephanie Sweeney is going to share. Stephanie has got a great story for a petite person who had major changes in her blood sugar, A1C and all of that by making her health changes. One of her clients, a male who's 50, we wanted somebody kind of who's on the journey right now. He will be sharing. And then we're going to have our very own Ellen Stewart share, because Ellen started the day after Thanksgiving. She's had a tremendous change, and she stepped into coaching. So she will be one that's going to kind of show the whole thing, how it can flow into it. So we're super excited. We're just kind of wanting to have it real raw, like real people sharing. So shout out to Kelly and to Vicky. So Vicky, I know you have been using the document and doing some invites. So I was hoping maybe you could share about that.
Yeah, super quick. Honestly, what I did is I took what put out there for all of us, and like sample email, sample text, kind of combined it. But this is how I started each email. Hey Dave, I hope you and Sue are well and you have some wonderful plans for the holidays. If I knew something recent and current about them, I would put that in there versus plans for the holidays. And then it says, I just feel like the fall is whizzing by. Here is what I think the difference was. This is when I threw this in on my own. I don't know if you have seen my post from today, but my results surrounding metabolic health are incredible. We're hosting a special event, blah, 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 taken from the thing. If you don't have a metabolic health story or one that you can, like show charts for and that kind of stuff, do you have a client? And if you don't, you've already listened to several coaches tonight who you can use my stuff whenever you want. I don't care. But just say, look what, D. Corchin, my friend and fellow coach D. Corchin has accomplished in 4 short weeks. You can do that. And if you're not sure who to use, go on Coaches Off for Change and say, hey, I need somebody who has a good story, about it and put it out there because I think that makes a difference. Obviously, it's best if it's you, but if you don't have one, get somebody you know. So that was kind of what it did. Honestly, and I told Dee, the two people that registered were not the two I thought were going to. So the other two are probably going to show up too. At least they told me would. But in fairness, I sent a number of those emails out before I added the registration link. So anyway, but that's it. I put something in there that's specific and clear, and hopefully yourself, if not you, somebody you know.
That's great. And right, like we've said, people are going to connect to your story, right? If we just go about an educator about metabolic health, people don't give a rip. But if you can share, like, here's my story, here's what's happening, et cetera. That's why, if you really want to move forward, I'd say wherever you are, let's take your health next level with the program and see. And Kelly, I know you've got several people invited, and talk about what your mindset has been and who you're inviting.
Well, invited every client that I'm having sessions with right now, which is about 40 right now, are people that I'm helping and that I'm talking to every week. But and then I also had several on my list of people that I thought would make fantastic coaches. So I thought, well, they need to know what's going on. They need to know about this new metabolic language and how we're handling all of this. And that will probably pique their interest a little bit more maybe I do want to be involved in this a little bit more. So that's what I did.
Awesome. Awesome. Right after this, I'll be sending out my email to my inactives. I have been talking to my current clients about it and specific people who have reached to me recently. I've invited to the call, my not yets. But like I said, it's not too late, right? Like just if you go ahead. If you're going to be on the call, if you would just, I would say let's be on so that we fill up the room and make it look full. But drop in the chat, like if you've had great success with the program, whatever, like help keep it alive and keep the energy up with it. Drop, your story, cheer somebody else on, edify something that was said. That'll all make a difference for somebody who might be seeing it for the first time. So, any questions around that? All right. Couple of things to share. Dr. A and Dan, if you want to go ahead and mark your calendar on the third Monday of every month. So this will start next month. On the third Monday of every month, they are going to do an all coach call. So Dan Bell always has his call at 8:30, but Dr. A and he will join forces for all of their organization the third Monday of every month. So if you want to put that as a reoccurring, that's an all coach. It's at 8:30 p.m. Yeah, after the community call. And then some other things coming up. We've been talking about it, but you might want to screenshot this next screen. And let me show you this. These are upcoming events for Optavia Field and Optavia events. And we have talked about Elevate Now, which will be on January 10th. But I learned, and this is really designed that you could be hosting your own events, like in your own city. They're going to have like one recorded session that could be shared. I think for whoever's in the audience there, you could make a team event around it. But I learned today that Dr. A and Dan are going to do a field event in Orlando, January 9th and 10th. That is open to us that are under Dan and Dr. A. So if that's in your area or you would like to attend, go ahead and save the date. They're going to have the details out soon for that. So that is January 9th and 10th. And then next is after that is Go Global. And I wanted to just put up here, and I'll post about this as well as we are wrapping up, but I just wanted to share about the Go Global requirements because Go Global is a really great event if you want to learn how to build your business and most specifically learn how to build your business with a team of coaches. And so there's going to be two ways you can qualify. Level one, these are the EDGE qualifications. The second round of EDGE qualifications happened actually. It was based on how you landed in August. New 6-month period started in September. So level one is a lot of us on this call. That is somebody who has not attended the 2025 summit, right? So everybody except Kelly is probably in this category. And so in order to be able to qualify as an executive director for 3 of the 6 months, so from September through March or through February, and one of those 3 months does have to be in February of 2026. So we still have November, December, January, February. We still have those months to qualify. And then also bring on a coach and earn that accelerator bonus. If you were already a executive director in August of 2025, then what you're going to do is increase your August executive director legs by 1. So if you were a regional director with 1, you want to have at least 2 executive directors for 3 of the 6 months and be a regional director or higher on February 26th, and not dropping below executive director. So very achievable for most of us on this call. Go Global is a great event. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, that event. So questions around that? All right. Well, like I said, mark your calendar for those events. If you want to start mapping your progress, I've got some checklists of how you can map your progress for level 1 and level 2, and I'll also be sharing it in the coach group. Otherwise, cannot wait to see you tomorrow night, 8:30, our team reset call. Dr. A, we've got our community call next, and then Dan Bell at 8:30 if you'd like to join in for that. So otherwise, we'll see you in the Facebook group. Reach out if you've got any questions. Bye.